America? What's going on? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, MAGA. What's happening? It's Kev. I'm back in full effect. Yeah, man. I was gone yesterday, unfortunately. I was absolutely pooped. Yeah, but I'm back. I'm just late today because not only did I have to work, but I had a dentist appointment, unfortunately, that started at 6 p.m. I'm like, what kind of dentist work that late? But I had to go in at 6 p.m. because it was the only time I can get in. And I rushed home because I had to talk about this, man. I have delayed this topic long enough. So now that I got a moment before work, I want to talk to y'all about how crazy these Democrats are. But first, I got to make sure that I'm getting notifications. All right, so I got one. Okay, there we go. At least one, which is sent out to me. Got a notification to my off balance. Just in case. Don't put me in a box. No point. Don't put me in a box. And I know my show is called Kevin's Corner, but don't put me in a corner, okay? All right? So somebody said, Kev, what's really happening? Oh, it's about to be cracking. That's what's happening. It's about to get it cracking. Now, I gotta make it short and sweet too, because I gotta go to work tonight, y'all. Yeah, man. Going in, feeling like I'm working on a chain gang. So I hope everything is going well. I see people now starting to log in and they're typing stuff. Kevin, you are the man. Good evening from North Carolina. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. People are checking in. That's what I'm talking about. So while they're checking in, I might as well go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. Get busy, y'all. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. And don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here too. So please check that out if you get a chance. And that phone number right there, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, we can stay connected just in case I get bounced off here. All right. And I think that might do it. Oh, if you want to support the channel, my Cash App or my PayPal link, you can do that. Links are below each. Now, let's talk about these crazy behind Democrats. I mean, they're muy local. They've lost their minds. They're doing things that I'm saying. I mean, you think this is really a good look? Is this a good look? So now, we all know how much they love illegal immigrants, and they have not learned from their beating that they took that the majority of the United States is not on it. So, of course, in the news, you've probably seen a group of Democrats decided to storm the ICE detention center. And I've been watching the clips a couple of days, and I'm saying to myself, I got to talk about this. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about this. But things have, just prevented me from doing it. So I figured I'll go ahead and talk about it, today, because guess what, y'all? They're victims. They've been misabused and stuff like that. And all they were trying to do is oversight and stuff like that. This wasn't a stunt. So let's go ahead and see what they really were up to. Then I'm going to rip them. A new one. That's what I'm going to do. Rip them a new one.
It was a tense scene outside Newark's Delaney Hall early this morning, where Mayor Ras Baraka brought along members of his administration to create a barricade demanding entry into the building.
Demanding entry into the building. Brought a barricade along, demanding entry into the building. Now, why? Why are Democrats always up to these type of shenanigans and stunts? Yeah, see, they're that group of people who want to become a victim. But it has to be in a certain context. See, in their mind, they want to go ahead and say, let's create a situation where we can claim we're the victim, even though we instigated it all. But long as it's for a good cause, if we could get enough dummies to look at what we're doing and believe that what we're doing is for a good cause and we're fighting against injustice and we're fighting for freedom and all of that stuff and discrimination, then our stupidity won't be viewed for what it is. Stupidity, agitation. It won't be viewed for all of that. They will look at us as, some type of soldier for justice and stuff like that. See, but all it comes down to is these are politicians pulling stunts. So they show up and they're going to demand to come in and snoop around. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to come there like professionals. They're not going to come there and say, excuse me, can I set an appointment? This is how they operate, chaotically. See, just like they took their butts down to El Salvador unexpectedly and then demand to go in and see, Killer Garcia. Yeah, that's how they roll. See, they don't call set appointments. Is this the president of El Salvador? Is there time we could come? Nope, not them. They just show up and start doing press conferences and make scenes. So let's see how it all panned out for him.
That's after his fire code inspectors were denied access. As we reported on Monday, ICE confirmed Delaney Hall began housing immigrant detainees on May 1st, even though the city and courts haven't given approvals for permits to operate.
So May 1st, they started. And then, of course, now all of a sudden, all these people want to show up and inspect things and fire. Because now the facility's been around for a long time. Yeah, so my question is, who's sending all this smoke towards the facility? Isn't it odd that soon as they start housing and increasing the deportation and, detaining all of these illegal immigrants, then all of a sudden now they're getting, inspections and stuff like that. We want to make sure you're up to code. And do you have a license to operate? Oh, I know what's happening. It's in a Democrat city and state. And so they're sending all of this nonsense towards them just to snoop around, affect their process that they're going through, affect their operation. And then when they can't get their way, then that's when they show up. That's when the clowns show up. And boy, y'all ready for this? They all came packed in that little teeny clown car, got out with those horns on those shoes. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Big noses. All of that. So let's see the clown show up.
Now the mayor says city attorneys are filing an injunction to stop them. Raven Santana reports.
You can't just go in a building and open it up without a certificate of occupancy. You can't say I have a certificate of occupancy for 20 years ago without doing any inspections. You can't change things or fix all of that. Even if you say you didn't do that, we have a right to check.
Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, alongside his team and local advocates, gathered at the entrance of Delaney Hall Immigration Detention Center.
So now the question is, if all he wanted to do is the right to check, why did he bring so many protesters with him? That's my question. Why didn't he just show up, or him and a couple of Democrats? Why they need to bring the press and a whole bunch of agitators with a whole bunch of signs just to do an inspection, just to walk in and check? Or could it be you want to just irritate ICE doing their job? Now all of a sudden you're interested in inspections and things like that. So now he wants to go in and inspect stuff. And all it really is he wants to go in and interrupt the operation of ICE, save his precious illegal immigrants, and maybe get some clout behind his upcoming, campaign. So there he is now talking about he's interested in inspecting out of all the buildings and companies in that area that's operating. For some reason, he makes it his mission to personally go down and say, I want to inspect this joint. Now, we all know what it is. And I hope the voters know what it is. And I hope they punish him and the rest of these darn Democrats for this type of shenanigans. We want these folks deported. But all of this stuff shows who they really love, because they're showing up there and willing to get arrested for their precious illegal immigrants.
Demanding answers after fire and code enforcement officials were blocked from entering the facility. The 1,000-bed facility is owned by the private prison company Geo Group, which entered into a 15-year, $1 billion contract with ICE in February.
ICE don't have a long-term lease with these folks, so Geo is completely responsible. They're hiding behind ICE right now. Keep telling our folks that ICE has to give us permission to get in, which is completely not true. The fire officials can go in any building anytime they want to do any inspections. They're not allowing them in. I wasn't here yesterday. The fire officials and UCC code officials were here yesterday. They wouldn't let them in, so now I'm here today.
For what? Why the special attention towards this? See, this is what burns me up, man. And I hope that we keep all of this footage for election time, so we can show the rest of the whole country that don't pay attention to politics or don't watch the news. These are the things that these people are interested in. Out of all the work you could be getting done in your city, y'all take time to target this facility. Why is that? I mean, do you really want to know if it's up to fire code? or you want to get in there and create false narratives and lies about how these folks are being mistreated and how ICE handling them, and do they have proper facilities, and are they, got fluffy pillows? Do they get the martini and asti spumante before they go to sleep, a little nightcap? We want to make sure that they're all taken care of and their due process and all of that stuff. That's what it really comes down to. How about you go and find the homeless folks and you check out their encampment? See how they're living. Make sure they're living fine. We want to look into your cardboard box here to see, do you got air conditioning in it? You got any running water in that cardboard box of yours? You got a fluffy pillow? They're not checking all of those folks. They're going down to ICE though, right? Unbelievable.
ICE confirmed to NJ Spotlight News that Delaney Hall has been housing detainees as of May 1st, a month ahead of schedule, but the Federal Immigration Agency did not confirm the number of people currently held inside, saying in a statement that the number constantly changes as detainees transfer in and out on a recurring basis, adding ICE leverages a diverse detention network, including private facilities, to ensure all aliens reside in safe, secure, and humane environments during their time in ICE custody.
Similar to the Elizabeth Detention Center, which is just...
Now y'all hear that? So, what's it to you? How many folks are in there? I mean, do you go to the state prison and just show up and be like, all right, how many prisoners you got in there? We want to know. We want to come in and do an unscheduled inspection. That's what we want to do. And then we're going to bring politicians down here. If we're not able to get in, and then they're going to go in and say, well, we want to come in and inspect. You know what? Can we schedule this? No, we want to come in now. But not just the politicians. Somehow the politicians bring a whole group of protesters with them. I mean, how normal is that? Would you do that at a state prison? You get word that, oh man, the fire department was denied. How about me, you, and a couple other people just go down and see what's going on and talk like we got some sense and act like professionals? Versus you go to the state prison with like 30 or 40 people. For what? Unless you want to make a spectacle. You're bringing an entourage because you want to create a situation where it looks like protest is taking place. People are outraged. They're going crazy. And all he's going to end up doing is embarrassing himself along with the rest of the fools that participated in this nonsense.
Less than 7 miles down the road, this is a very industrial site that if you did not know the location, you wouldn't even know that exists. And that's very purposeful.
That's very purposeful. Yeah, you know what's purposeful is that big bull ring you got in your nose. How about you worry about what's going on with that big bull ring in your nose before you start whining about that's very purposeful, that it says strategically placed in this area for what? So let's hear her theory, this radical person who's against, I guess, deportation of illegal immigrants. Let's hear her theory of why it's very purposeful.
ICE specifically has immigration detention centers away from where people are live, out of sight, out of mind type of thing.
Why?
Jenny Garcia, an advocate.
Why? Well, out of sight, out of mind, so that type of thing. How could it just be? That was a great place to put it. Got the land and everything we need. So it couldn't be that. I wonder if she was worried about how purposeful it was for those jumbo jets, 747s under mule gas, and of course, creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe landing all over the place in the dead of night. That was purposeful. That's what it was. Yeah. Why didn't they just go ahead and land those big boys in broad daylight and show all of America? Here, we are flying in precious illegal immigrants from all over the place. Why didn't they do that? It seemed very purposeful that they didn't want folks to see. Interesting. But now she's thinking that ICE is hiding. I guess the building is over there for what? To torture these people?
And senior communications associate with Detention Watch Network.
Uh-oh. You see them bringing in the elderly? Yeah, they're bringing in the old, washed up hippies from the 60s. Hippies from the 60s. You got to be kidding me. I mean, what old folks home did they go to bring all of these people? And they got walking sticks. That might be an original hat from the dang on Civil War. We don't know. She might have even been in it. She might have been a nurse in the Civil War. So all of these people so-called are organically showing up, and it happen to all just be really old and stuff like that. But anyway, let's continue.
Raised concerns about the health risks linked to the detention center's location.
The health risks. Now, when did this become a concern? All of a sudden, they're concerned about the health risks. See the nonsense that they come up with to push their shenanigans and to interrupt what we're trying to do, what the people voted for. So let me understand. They all flew down to El Salvador to check the facilities to make sure these precious illegal immigrants were in good health. They were concerned about them. They had to go to El Salvador to do that. Now they're showing up at the ICE the detention facility to see if they are all in good health. That's their excuse to interrupt the process. And even if they were all being treated perfectly, they would come out lying about it. It's obvious that these people, they're being suffocated. I believe they're being waterboarded. And just like off a Full Metal Jacket, I think they come in with soap bars and pillowcases at night, and they just beat them for no reason. Yeah, that's what's happening in there. So they want to know if they're being treated fairly and the health and stuff like that. Why aren't they so concerned about our veterans? And see how they're being treated. Why aren't they concerned about all of our homeless folks and seeing how they're treated? Why don't they even go to a regular, prison or jail in a country that has Americans in it to see how they're being treated? No, they don't want to do that. Why didn't they go and see how those Sixers who was jailed, unlawfully, and see how they were being treated? Well, why don't they do anything to show their attention towards American citizens to see how they're being treated? But instead, for some reason, they're all concerned about how their precious illegal immigrants are being treated who shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. Now, however they're being treated is better than what they deserve, considering they broke into our country. Because I guarantee you, if I broke into any other country, I wouldn't be treated wonderfully. I'm pretty sure. But now they're wondering how they're treated.
Garcia, whose cousin was previously detained by ICE, stressed that the site's surroundings add another layer of risk for those being held inside.
Now, y'all ready for this nonsense? The site surrounding adds another layer of risk for those inside. Now, you see the stupid stuff they try to come up with and push and act like this is a big deal? Now, you could move this facility anywhere in the country. You could put it on a resort and they would still have a problem. So now let's listen to these theories about their health risks from outside.
The folks that are watching this cannot smell the rancid smell that is really out here.
Yeah, and that rancid smell is you guys. Y'all stink. Y'all brought the funk. Don't give me the funk, the whole funk, nothing but the funk. That's what y'all giving us.
With trucks passing by, with the smell of sewage around, and not only are the conditions in
trucks passing by, the smell of sewage around. You're describing almost every major city. What are you talking about? Also, guys, you can't put a holding facility anywhere where there's sewage around and trucks driving by and smog. And then there's climate. There's climate stuff that you got to worry about for these precious legal immigrants. Maybe they should all get housed at Disneyland. Something like that. Universal Studios. We don't know. Mar-a-Lago, that's where you want them to be held?
Inside the detention center, but we understand that this area of Newark and the Ironbound is called the toxic corridor for a reason, and is not safe for people to be breathing this air. Not only for the people that are going to be detained at Delaney Hall, but also the workers as well.
So if the workers aren't complaining themselves, what's it to you? I'm pretty sure these people are going to say, man, I believe in locking these illegal immigrants up so much that I'm willing to put my own health at risk by working at this facility. That's what I'm willing to do. So she's concerned about the workers and all of that stuff. Do you hear this crap that they come up with? And they actually get on the news and somebody gives them a segment to go ahead and spew this type of nonsense out without question. Do you know how quickly I'd have been like, that makes no sense. I would reverse that whole thing on her. Give me some examples. You know what? Give me some proof. Have you been testing the water? Testing the air quality? No. You're just getting up there making stuff up.
We had a story yesterday of a young man who married a woman who they were going through the process to, become citizens of the United States.
Y'all, you see them? Now, this is what they were doing before they went ahead and raided it and stuff like that and stormed ICE. They find these little cases and stuff. And they try to come up with, we got a case where, probably not giving you all the details. But either way, I don't care, man. I don't care what type of sad story you give me. I don't care, man. I'm going to be like the ghetto dude when I was growing up at Ursuline. We had a little Catholic school. We thought we was bad, y'all. But the city school called South High would have this talent show every year. But it allowed all the people from the city, all the schools, they could participate. And if they audition, then they could participate in the South High talent show. And so me and my buddies went up to South. Now, we done already heard the rumors about how bad South was. Yeah, man, that wasn't a school. It was like Fair East Side. It was like that. You needed Joe Brown in that school. So we go up in there, we sitting in the back of the classroom, and they were wilding out in that classroom so bad that our mouths were open. We were like, I mean, I felt like a grown-up. All of a sudden, I was like, you guys need to settle down and sit down. I want to see some respect in here. Don't you have any dignity? They were acting a complete fool. So we looking at this, and finally the teacher just breaks down and start crying. And she starts spewing out all these things that she sacrificed for the kids. Look what I've done for you guys. And I try to make this thing to be really good for you. And this is how you treat me. And I'm thinking to myself, about time this woman go ahead and get some respect. Everybody was dead quiet while she was crying and boo-hooing. When she got done, this big dude in the back of the classroom said, yeah, well, that's a sad story, ain't it? Yeah! And they went crazy again. Immediately. They didn't give a darn about her feelings and her sad story. And it was like, man, that's a real sad story, ain't it? And start acting up again. That's how I feel every time I hear these stories. Every time they come out there was a situation the other day. I'm like, yeah, well, that's a real sad story, ain't it? You get these folks out of here. You ain't gonna get me with no sad stories.
They went to the immigration office, and while they was in the immigration office, ICE grabbed her and detained her and put her in this property.
Yeah, that's a good place
to verify that. It's one of the reasons that we are down here.
Well,
No, I thought you were just coming to inspect. I thought you was coming to inspect and stuff because the fire department. But now you're talking about this another reason why we're down here. You're down there to try to slow down deportation, try to demonize ICE and the Trump administration, and to protect your precious illegal immigrants. Why don't you keep it real, bruh?
Remains unclear who is currently being held at Delaney Hall. Baraka says the company does not have the necessary permits to operate the facility, leaving little to no transparency. Geo Group disputes
the necessary permits and the tape work and stuff. Now, you got to understand, this is a federal facility. What are you talking about? You just think they're in there just winging it? They haven't done any type of checks and balances. What type of permits you're talking about? If it was up to you, there wouldn't be anything that would allow them to operate. Yeah, y'all will come up with some of the stupidest things. Oh, well, now you need a permit because in this area there's a fish that swims a mile or so around, and you got to go ahead and round those fish up and relocate them. So you need a permit for that. And all of it would be done just so they could protect their precious illegal immigrants.
is saying it has a valid certificate of occupancy and is in compliance with all health and safety requirements.
Thank you.
The city has sued the prison company over the permits.
We're going to give them a citation today. We're giving them a citation for not allowing us in yesterday.
And nobody thinks this is being done on purpose. Nobody thinks that these people are targeting this facility because they're really trying to protect these illegal immigrants. You're telling me there's dumb enough people out there to think that they're really concerned about the permits and the operations and the cleanliness of the facility and stuff like this? We all know the real motive. We all know the real motive. And it all revolves around them having a America Last mentality and them trying to protect their investment, which was millions of illegal immigrants that's come in. And now we find out that millions of them were given Social Security numbers under Biden, so they can have a better life and all of that. We found out all of these things. Millions of them. So let's continue seeing these people lie and pretend that they're just concerned about the operation and the permits and all of that stuff.
Give them a citation for not allowing us in today. We also give them a citation for locking the fence up while we're right there. So we're going to give them 3 citations.
3 citations. We're just going to harass them. We're just going to keep doing stupid stuff. These people need to be voted out and dealt with. Now, they're harassing a federal facility that's housing horrific people. And another citation, we're just going to give them this is a straight up abuse of their power. They're using their position to go ahead and attack law enforcement. That's the crazy part about this. Law enforcement. And you can't lock your gate because we want to just be able to come in anytime we want and snoop around.
And give it to the Geo Group and have them respond. I think ICE right now not responding to us is a little cowardice. They need to step up and answer to what's happening here.
DHS.
No, it's not cowardice. They just don't want to deal with you stupid people because they know what you're up to. No answer is good enough for them. because their real motive is to shut that mug down. I don't care if you sent a representative out there, showed you, took you on a tour, had a white glove on, showing you that there wasn't a speck of dust anywhere. Yeah, take you to the mess hall, and see all the food piled up. And look at this, we feed them. We got a very nutritious diet for them. We make sure that they can listen to classical music to go to sleep to. We even gave them those black shades. So when they go to sleep, they don't have, you could go ahead and show them all of that. And they'd be like, well, they're still being misabused and here they're being, because when your goal is to do evil, nothing will satisfy you unless you accomplish that evil goal. Let's continue, because here they come now. Here's all the politicians.
Says, quote, a group of protesters, including 2 members of Congress, stormed the gate and broke into the ICE detention facility.
Sounds like an insurrection. Insurrection. Here we go. Let the games begin.
Robert Menendez Jr. and Bonnie Watson Coleman and multiple protesters are holed up in a guard shack area, the first security checkpoint. Interim U.S. Attorney Alina Habba for the District of New Jersey posting on X that Newark's Democrat Mayor Ras Baraka was there and, quote, committed trespass. Here he is talking about the facility earlier in the week.
We know what ICE has done in the past. We've seen them. We know how they operate. We know that they have picked people up who have not broken any laws. We know they've deported people.
See? Are you serious? Now, it sounds to me like you just got a problem with ICE. You just got a problem with the department that is responsible for deporting all of these folks y'all brought in. That's what's like. We know how they roll. We know how that they're responsible for picking people up. Ain't gonna give you the details of what happened when they do stop somebody and what happens if this is an American citizen and how they are released and let go. And I mean, these are rare if they're happening at all. But now he's coming out making ICE seem like, dang on brown shirts from the Nazi party or something. So let's listen to him lie on ICE.
And refuse to bring them back.
We shall not be moved.
Oh, God.
Shut down the lady.
Y'all see their posse that they brought? Yeah, man. These are the folks that they're scraping together to act like they're supporting what these Democrats are pushing. I see some folks with some masks on. I see some elderly people. And then they all, of course, got to come in singing their old Negro spirituals and stuff like we're still in the struggle.
Shall not be moved just like a tree.
2 days later.
And myself, Congresswoman Monica McIver, and Congressman Rob Menendez. We're here conducting an oversight visit, which we have the power to do as congressional members.
You see that? They're just here doing an oversight visit, not to come in and be a pain in the butt and disrupt and get a sound bite and all of that stuff. So now they just show up randomly for an oversight visit. No professionalism. No, hey, let me go there and say, hey, look, is there a time we could schedule to come on in? Now they're just going to show up and muscle themselves in like Cousin Eddie off of a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yeah, just show up. Yeah, Eddie? Hey, Clark. Eddie, what are you doing here? Yeah, they're showing up like Cousin Eddie.
Mayor of the largest city in New Jersey.
Here we go.
Waiting for us to come back. ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark.
Absolutely. When you look out there and it's more than just the mayor of Newark. You look out there and you see the mayor of Newark brought a whole bunch of protesters. Whole bunch of folks. We don't know their intentions, but we do know how the left protests. Yeah, we got to be prepared for everything. So what's it to you that 20 armed agents came? You weren't whining about that when all of those feds showed up at that man's house that was protecting his son from that radical person as him and his son was protesting against abortions, and they came with all those armed feds? What about the ones that showed up at Mar-a-Lago with the authorization to use deadly force? Huh? What about that? When the feds was going heavy-handed, showing up with all of those long guns and things like that, helicopters and boats, you weren't worried about the, over-exaggeration of feds that was showing up? No. So now here he is talking about all the folks that came out. And boy, I tell you, let's see how this all panned out.
Along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation, not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities.
What?
We know that.
You mean arresting all of your precious illegal immigrants? Keeping your community safe by getting rid of the criminal element of illegal immigrants? And frankly, everybody needs to go. They're all criminals because they broke into the country. But as ICE gets rid of some of the worst and put them in this joint, we got these fools down there trying to pretend ISIS is snatching American citizens up and they're abusing these precious illegal immigrants that didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing, y'all.
The president lied and this administration lies every day.
About
They're
what?
saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing. And that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me.
Well, this man seems like he's a little irate. His feathers are a little ruffled. He's mad, y'all. Yeah, he's talking about they put their hands on these people. So what were they doing? That's my question. What were they doing? So let me understand. They just showed up. Excuse me. I was wondering, could we talk to someone about possibly scheduling a oversight visit? And oh, sure. I'll wait. I'll wait right here. Oh wait, hey, why are these guys coming? What the hell? What did I do? What did I do? That's what happened. Now they're starting to sound like a lot of these cases that we see that the Democrats jump on board. Another black man was attacked and shot by the police, or he was beaten, and you go, oh boy, here we go. Let me see what happened. Let's see what led to it. Let me see the video footage, and you'll find that most of the time, that brother got himself thrown in jail. That brother got himself shot. So now these Democrats who claim they didn't do nothing, ICE was just being heavy-handed. Yeah, well, we better check the receipts.
How is this acceptable?
Look
To
at
anyone in this
fake
country, how
outrage.
is this acceptable? I fight along with these 2 incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be.
Y'all hear? Itchy and scratchy. We fight. Well, let's see how the fight went, because how is this acceptable? Well, look at that. Now, you know what that looks like? That looks like the same invasion that took place down there on the border when, we had a couple of troops down there and all of those precious illegal immigrants just came right through that fence, ran right by those agents down there on the border. They was like, you gonna let us in America. We deserted being here. You heard Mucus and all that. You heard Joe Biden say, oh, you know what? If I was down to search, you got to search the border. Search. Yeah, we got permission. So now this is how they conduct themselves. And they're telling us that none of that looks suspicious. I thought you listened to the commands of the people with the authority. So if ICE is saying, don't come in the gate, does that look like you got peaceful protesters? Does that look like you got people out there that don't want to cause confrontation? They will say, oh, okay, you want us to stay right here and stay right here? Okay, no problem. We'll wait here until we can get an answer. No, that looks like a group of people who say, we coming in one way or another. And guess what? We hope y'all mess around and arrest us. So it could look like we're the victim. So instead of conducting themselves like they got some sense, they conduct themselves like, number one, the ghetto group of politicians that they are, and the radical, crazy, violent group of protesters that they have bred and encouraged to go ahead and say, if we don't get our way, we're going to muscle through. Now that looks just like what they were saying was an insurrection on January 6th.
Put your hands on me.
Take them away, boys. Take them away.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah. But see, it's not just enough to take them away. It's not just enough to arrest them. Because, see, we've seen Democrats stage arrest so they can walk away and try to pretend that, look what I fought for. Yes, I was willing to go down. I was willing to get, like AOC, who didn't even have handcuffs, and she just put her hands behind her back. Y'all remember that? She forgot her props or something like that. She just said, you know what? I'm going to stick my hands behind my back to pretend that I'm in handcuffs. Yeah, like that. Greta Thunberg where, you know, she just act like she goes limp and they pick her up and carry her out and then let her out, get her around the corner. All right, there you go. Go ahead. Yeah, stuff like that. So it's not enough just to arrest them, because then they could just use that to campaign. They could use that to go out and say, look what happened to me. ICE did this and this and that. No, I want to see some charges brought. That's what I want to see. Just like on this judge that let them out, let an illegal immigrant out the back door to avoid ICE. And now we got a grand jury that indicted her, y'all. Yeah, we want to make an example out of these dummies. Look at this. Because they ain't do nothing. Look at that. Uh-oh. Oh, look at it. Look at that. That's the guy who was out there saying this is outrageous. Do not push me. Now, understand, guys, as they're trying to go through the fence and ICE is saying, don't go, well, you keep walking forward. The least they're going to do is put their hands and say stop, or kind of push you back. See, now it could come with a billy club across your head. That's what it should do. It's come with one of these across the dome. But they're trying to go ahead and say, look, don't go. And then you go, don't push me. It's like the person, man, don't touch me, but you're still coming towards them. You're still coming towards them. And they're going, hey, stop right there. Nah, man, don't touch me though. For real, don't touch me. What they're really saying is, I want you to touch me. Just like when I was little. You always got to remember my stories and stuff. My mama, hey, you got your dress clothes on. Friends out there getting squirted in the water hoses. Don't you go out there and get wet. And I go out there and I got a million paths that I could take. Million paths. But what do? I go right in front of the kid with the water hose. And the whole time I'm going, hey, don't squirt me. Don't squirt. My mama said I can't get wet. Okay, man, cool. Then go ahead, little man. I'm serious. Don't squirt me though, for real. Don't squirt me. And then what do? Blame that person. I told JoJo and them not to squirt me, and he squirted me. No. I wanted to get squirted. I went right in front of that water hose, just like these folks. Don't touch me, as they're walking towards the fence that ICE is telling them, you can't come in here. Look at it, going around. Look, trying to go around. Democrats are the worst. They're the biggest, most ghettoest party ever. Now, if you reverse this whole scene right here and put a lot of red hats right there. Put a lot of red MAGA hats right there. Put some Republicans out there doing that. Look at this right here, right? It's unlawfulness. These people need to be arrested and prosecuted. I mean, look at how this is dangerous. They're putting these wonderful law enforcement people's lives in danger. It will be a whole bunch of that. These folks may need a sock in the nose, man. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look, they're just gonna go. They're just gonna go in. Look at the one chicken and red. Now, does that look like they ain't do nothing? Does that look like they were simply standing, across the line? Okay, what, you want us to stay right here? No? Okay, cool. We'll wait. No, this looks like folks that want some action. This looks like folks who want to get some type of sound bite, some type of video clip that they could go in and say, look at us, we were fighting to save who? Now, if I saw them trying to go ahead and push past, some gates to save some Americans, to make sure, a lot of our veterans were being treated properly, all that stuff. If I saw that, maybe I might go, okay, there you go. You're fighting for something good. But what are these folks doing? They're wasting their time pretending like they just here to do oversight and hopefully get arrested. Doing what? Trying to get in there to protect who? Not Americans, illegal immigrants.
We are following breaking news out of Newark, where faith leaders have blocked the entrance to Delaney Hall, which is the ICE facility.
See? The crap never stops. So now they bring out faith leaders to block the way. Okay, so now, what are they going to do? This is their style of protesting. Let's go out, disrupt, stand in the way, block things, and hope that the people that's coming and going, just blowing their horn and saying, get out the way, don't give us the double tap. Foop, foop. That's what we're going to hope. So now, here we go. They're bringing out the radical faith leaders. Let's see how this pans out.
It comes days after Newark Mayor Ras Baraka was arrested there. We want to get right out to News 4's Gabi Acevedo live from Delaney Hall with what's happening there behind you, Gabi.
Nothing.
Natalie, David, was started as a prayer vigil turning into a protest. I'm going to step outside so our photojournalist Oscar
Now, you see this raggedy protest? This goes to show that the Democrat Party is on its last leg, especially without all that precious USAID money and all of that dark money that they use to funnel towards bringing a whole bunch of protesters from everywhere, busting them in. See, now here they are working with the skeleton crew. So they got the skeleton crew out there, somehow mustered up these so-called faith leaders that's coming down here. And they're just going to block the entrance. They're just going to block the entrance. Now, leftists don't get it. Nobody likes this style of protest. Nobody. Especially when the census is that most Americans want ICE to deport these people. But these folks decide we're going to put together a skeleton crew, go down here, and instead of standing to the side and protesting, what are we going to do? We're going to sit down right there. Right there. Now, do you think you're winning anybody towards your cause when they say, okay, here I am. I'm trying to go to work. I pull up here. Beep, 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 beep. And I see these fools just sitting down in the middle of everywhere. Nobody likes this type of protest. Nobody. But that's the Democrat style.
Can show you this live pictures outside of the gates of the Delaney Hall ICE detention center. Now, people at this rally, including faith leaders from different religious denominations, have been demanding more information from the Department of Homeland Security on how many people are inside this facility and who are.
Why? What's it to y'all? What's it to y'all? How many people inside? Man, who do y'all think y'all are? And who was arrested and how many people? What's it to you? Do you show up at any other holding facility asking these questions? We got a lot of prisons in America. Y'all don't do that? That we're showing up to see how many prisoners in this building? No, but for some reason, y'all go to a ICE facility. How about this? All y'all need to know is everyone in there are illegally here. That's the answer to that. No American citizens are in there detained. All of them in there are illegal immigrants. That's all you need to know. Take care. Bye-bye now. There you go. Alrighty then. Take care. Bye-bye now. So let's continue seeing these fools make fools of themselves.
Are the ones who are locked up. Faith leaders blocking the entrance to a federal detention center for migrants in Newark, sending a message.
We will continue to show up. We will continue to apply pressure. Delaney Hall.
Look at that. Look at that. My gut tells me she plays for the other side. Went through a collar on. Okay. They probably went to the most radical leftist Christian or Jewish, faith centers they could and said, could you come out and support this stupidity?
Refuses to comply with the most basic standards of safety and health.
At least
How do you know that? Basic standards of safety and health refuses to comply. What are you talking about? Huh? Have you been in there? Have you inspected it, priestess lady? No? You're just going ahead and making up stuff like the other lady? See, look at all these dumb, useful idiots.
50 clergy members wearing green armbands marched on Doremus Avenue to the gates of Delaney Hall, joined by pro-migrant activists calling for the Department of Homeland Security to shut down the site.
Shut down the site, y'all. Somebody put in the comments, please. I've never seen police spelled like that. That's great. All right, so check it out, y'all. They saying shut it down for whatever reason. Shut it down because it's being used to deport illegal immigrants. Just shut it down. As we lie about it and pretend that these people are being mistreated in there and stuff like that.
Think of all the names of the people who have been disappeared from your community.
Oh, God. All the names of the people who've been disappearing from your communities that shouldn't be in the community in the first place. So can you, young black lady, who out there trying to pretend that American citizens are being snagged off the streets, can you start naming any Americans that were snagged and disappeared? Or you don't want to do that because there are none. And you want to make it pretend that, yeah, these are your friends. Here's my neighbor, Jeff, down the street. Yeah, been here all his life. All of a sudden, you seen Jeff recently? Nah, man, they disappeared him. Snatched him and just put him in an ICE facility for deportation. That's not happening. But she's not going to say that right there. And I guarantee you, the only community she's talking to right now, just saying the people in your community that are disappearing, are communities filled with other illegal immigrants. There it is. Communities where there's a whole bunch of illegal immigrants, and they're like, you hear what happened to Cat Jose? I told him not to go outside and go to the store, but he wouldn't listen. Now they got him at the store. That's what's probably happening, because they're not American citizens, but according to them, everybody's being snatched up.
Because we're in crisis, right? The country itself has been with an immigration narrative that is very criminalizing.
Very criminalizing. That's what it is. It's all about the narrative. It's very criminalizing. The immigration, you forgot illegal. You forgot the illegal immigration crisis that was created by the Democrats that now we have to clean up. A crisis that never should have happened. Could have avoided all of this if the Democrats weren't trying to replace their voters. Could have avoided all of this if they weren't looking for all the cheap labor for people to pick the fruit and wash our pools and our toilets. Yeah, could have avoided all of this. So it's not a big criminal crisis for these folks to come into the country. That's fine. That's fine, because they came here for a better life. And their amnesty and their VATICAF care and their community college and stuff like that. But now all of a sudden, it's a problem to get them out. These people, man, they make me so sick, makes me want to throw up. It's like they're fighting against themselves. They're like cancer. You know, cancer just fights against the betterment of the body. You're saying, man, I'm trying to be healthy. You know, here I got all of my white blood cells doing the best they can to keep me right. And then here comes some cancer. Dang on it. Why don't you just do right? Don't you understand? By killing me, you're going to kill yourself. Don't you understand that? Cancer don't care. Don't think like that. Just one goal and objective. I'm about to destroy the whole body. Well, what happens when the body's gone? Oh, I didn't think that far. I didn't know that our cancer cells would die after we end up killing the whole body. Maybe we should lay low. No, they don't understand it. They operate like cancer. They don't think it through.
Shows a commotion last Friday at the same venue where the Newark mayor was taken into custody for allegedly trespassing. After the incident, interim U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, took to social media to denounce Mayor Baraka and others.
It is the enactment of a police state here in New Jersey.
An enactment of a police state, says the most likely lesbian priestess. Okay, operating right there in New Jersey. A police state, guys. Just throwing statements out there that if you're a dummy and a bubblehead and you're listening to the priestess out here, yeah, you might go ahead and be compelled to fight against Gestapo and the police state and, you know, buy into the whole narrative that we're living under an oligarchy / tyranny, and Trump's doing whatever he wants to do. And we got to fight back. We got to do something crazy and radical. Now, if it was a police state, Miss most likely gay priestess, you would probably be taken away. Last I checked, police states are used to stifle and stop any opposition, to silence folks, to scare and intimidate regular citizens from speaking out against the power. Yeah, but here you are, right out there, right out in the open, guys. You're not even hiding, priestess. And you're calling this a police state. Well, if that's the case, shouldn't ICE just come out of the building right now, according to Trump? What? I'm looking at the news right now. They're outside. Go and arrest them. Well, sir, they're not doing anything. They're just out there talking and protesting. I don't care. I want no negativity. So this person wouldn't be out there if this is a police state. Rounding up folks that shouldn't be in the country, according to her, is operating like a police state.
Today, at one point, the Laney Hall private security guards came outside asking to meet with organizers looking to clear the area.
You're thinking that there are already hundreds of people in here who we don't know anything about.
What's it to you? It's not your job to know anything about them. All of a sudden, now y'all want to know everybody's background. Do y'all work for ICE? That's my question. I mean, who are these people, man? It's amazing that they show we demand to know who's in there and what's it. I mean, go do this any other place. Go to any other facility. If I go to the local jail and say, all right, I demand to know all the names of the people that's locked up in there. Right? Who are you again? Just a concerned citizen. How about you get out of here before you find yourself learning the hard way about who these people are by being in there with them? Well, I didn't know I had to stand here to learn the names. I thought that you could just give me maybe a list or something. No, it's not my business. Okay, I'll go ahead and leave before I end up in there.
Faith in Action leaders are calling on the Department of Homeland Security to release the identities of the people detained in Delaney Hall.
Now, you see this? You see the stupidity? This is what I mean. Democrats and their dirty tactics, the stupid tactics. Release the names of the people. So now, of course, you release all those names and you have, 90% of them that are violent criminals. And then you got 10% that just happen to be illegal immigrants. They're going to pretend that those 10% people should not be detained. They're going to say they're unlawfully detained. They didn't get the due process. These are the people of our community. And in reality, they might not have committed the type of crimes that the violent criminals, illegal immigrants have done, but they've committed the crime of coming into the country illegally. So any way you cut it, any name on that list fits the description of someone who is here illegally and should be deported. Any name on a list. But y'all try to conflate the two. If your name is on that list and you're not a violent criminal or did this or that as an illegal immigrant, then basically, you're already an American citizen and you have the rights that any American citizen would have. And that's not the fact. And these people just don't get it.
To allow a congressional delegation to complete an oversight visit and to permit the city of Newark to conduct all necessary inspections.
English? This is America, man. This is America. Now, I love the Hispanic population, but when you're on TV, how am I going to understand what you're saying? I need some English, man. It's America. Speak American.
This man rallying outside of Delaney Hall says he was able to connect with a friend who he claims is being held at the detention center. A man detained who is Dominican says he has a domestic violence.
Oh, he has a domestic violence charge. But that's it, though. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I don't know why they got me locked. So wait a minute. Let me understand. This is such a bad example. They use so many bad examples if they're trying to get people to jump on board with defending this mess. So let me understand. Just like Killer Garcia, with all of those charges about smacking his girlfriend, his wife around and stuff like that. They want to defend him. They want to use him as the poster child for fighting against deportation. So this guy, he gets in touch with somebody from the Dominican Republic who is here illegally. That's number one. But then you want to add a layer to that. Just a domestic violence case. We need more of these type of people in our society, right?
Case on his record, but denied any suggestion he's an MS-13 gang member.
Yeah, I'm going to deny that. Do you think they're not? You think that these guys are going to, I just want to let everybody know I'm a part of MS-13. So we're the first to go? You're telling me if I go ahead and I'm identified and labeled as a gangbanger, I get deported to where? El Salvador? Well, no, I'm not an MS-13. Big old M13 tattooed on my back. But no, that's just for show. Is it all down my arm, whole sleeve, MS-13, live or die for him? They're number one. Yeah, all of that stuff, you think they're just going to come out and confess that, knowing where they will get sent to? Nah, they're not going to do that. No, I'm not with MS-13. However, I am facing some domestic violence charges. There it is. Is that bad? Is that bad enough for me to get deported? So even if I didn't have these domestic violent charges, I still would be deported because I'm still a criminal, because I broke our immigration laws to get here. That's what you're telling me? So all of these cats out there whining about this, they should shut their yaps. So now look at the protesters, the weirdos. There it is. Look at that. That's changing everything. She got a sign for the illegals, y'all. Look what the sign says. Look what the sign says. Love. Now look. Yeah, I can love you, but you got to go. Yeah, man. I can love you and spank your butt at the same time. I gave my cousins a whooping when I was younger because they were younger than me and they told me to watch them. Said if they act up, spank their butts. Both of them couldn't stop fighting. He keep touching me. And finally, they didn't see the belt I had hid on my right-hand side. Yeah, they over here on my left side whining and fussing. Next you know, it came out like Excalibur. Brought that belt up. They looked at me and they were so mad at me. I hate you. You get me sick. I love you. It's just a whooping. Yeah. So, I mean, just because I love you don't mean you don't get your butt spanked. So now here she is. Love, y'all. And I'm pretty sure that's making them feel better. Look, y'all. Is that a Nazi sign? She grabbed her heart and did this. Look at that. That might be the Nazi sign. She did this. Is she a Nazi? She might be a Nazi. I don't know. Where are they getting these people, man? Where are they getting these people? Oh, look. There it is, guys. There it is. Yeah, we're back now to the video footage of how they peacefully are trying to protest, because remember, they came to the mic and they start saying that, oh God, we were attacked. ICE came out, started whooping us, beating us in the head for no reason. We didn't do nothing. Let's see. Here we go. Two Spanish people fighting. Now look at that. That's not intimidating, is it? Where you got all these people up in the faces of ICE members, fussing and stuff like that. Yeah, that's not intimidating. Yeah, so let's continue. Whose side are ya? You see this gay priest? You see this gay guy right here? Yeah, I can tell he got sugar in his tank right there, and she got salt in her tank. So you got what looks to be a gay priest, and then also a gay priestess. These are the faith leaders they go out to find to say, look who's supporting us. Old folks, crazy radical religious folks, and raggedy behind ghetto politicians. Yeah, as they look, that's what you do. There you go. Yeah, we're about to put y'all on the side. At the side, this outside and off to the right of the dang on gate. There you go. Which side are you on? Oh, the one that's not in the middle. So you just pick a side, because right now we're riding right through the middle. We're riding right through the middle. We're gonna put you on the side. As they which side are you on? Are you on? Look, blocking traffic. Look, liberals. These are the worst folks in our society, y'all. I'm telling you, man. I might take some petty criminals over liberals. I'm like, what? So what? You just be stealing hubcaps? I'll take you over the purple-haired girl that's laying down right now on the ground in front of that car. I mean, a couple hubcaps. Do they even make hubcaps anymore? Yeah, no? Okay, well, that. All right, so you're just operating old school. You think that the hubcaps is still in style? Okay, you're good. You're not a real danger to society. Steal your hubcaps. We'll trade the hubcap thief for the purple-haired girl laying down. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So let's go ahead and continue as all these blue-haired people. Look, this is what you got to do. You got to push them. Look at that. And they're pushing back. Is that a good look? Yeah. Show these clips to all of the Americans that voted for Trump, partly because of illegal immigration. Show them all these clips and say, now, after watching these clips, do you change your mind? Do you feel differently about illegal immigration? Look at the caliber of people that they're bringing out to fight against Trump's mandate to deport all these people. Do these folks make you feel relatable and make you feel like, yeah, you know what? I'll probably definitely jump on board with these people. No, it looks like these would be the people that would be dumb enough to come out there and protest. These are the same type of people that made most Americans reject the Democrat Party, because they said that party is filled with these type of radical people. We've seen their handiwork over the years of how they protest, what they do to causes, the cancel culture, the wokeness, the whining, the rioting, the laying in the middle of the street, the blocking the traffic, all of the stuff that comes along with being a Democrat supporter and voter. We don't like it. So sending these people out here are not going to capture the attention of average common sense Americans and make them think maybe we got this all wrong about illegal immigration. This only encourages us, because if these people are out here fighting against it, we might be doing something right. Look at her. And she's going to go around throwing elbows, creating chaos, hitting cars. That's right. Take her away, boys. Yeah, look at him, laying down. Pulled the mask down from the ICE agent. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, all these Democrat voters, guys. You see this? Yeah, I'm sure that's what we need more in our dang on society. Yeah, more of these folks who don't know how to use their words. There it is. Yeah, we're not going to use our words properly. We're going to go ahead and throw temper tantrums and sit down right in the middle of traffic. And then whine that we're being abused when these people pick us up and make us pick a side as we sing. West side, oh, look at that. Now, can you imagine if these were all Republicans? Look at it. Still coming. Still coming. But these are protesters. See, when the news covered them, we had a little fiery protest down there at ICE. These protesters were simply demanding versus these white supremacists and these radicals, these far right, and all of that. They're not getting those labels. They're not, when the news reports this, they're not reporting these folks as far left radicals. No, they're just protesters and clergy people. Ma'am, stay there. He gave you an order. You're on private property, trying to muscle yourself in, getting multiple warnings, multiple commands, but you don't want to listen. You want to go down as a victim. That's what it is. These people, they're horrible, man.
It's the same one. It's the same one.
Look at them. Weirdos, man. Where's that are ya? Where's that are? And then, of course, the crazy clergy people. I don't know what this dude got. He's rocking what, a dashiki? I mean, he looks like he's mixed with 18 different religions. We're practicing the religion of the dang on priest, and we got an African religion, we got the Jewish religion, and we got Islam, we got, what is he, a gumbo pot of religions? So let's go ahead and see the old man and the priest that's practicing all kind of religions.
That's why you see now.
Dashiki.
They're terrorizing our communities. That's what
They're terrorizing our communities. They're terrorizing it. So the communities that all these illegal immigrants are just dropped off, and now here y'all are holding hands right in front of the gate. Once again, when somebody break through the line, somebody bend your arm behind your back, then you're whining. I thought priests and religious clergy follow the laws of the land. But nope, not them. So I guess their goal is to drive everybody crazy by singing that stupid song in the background to where ICE should say, forget it, man, I can't work in these conditions. Y'all hear them all off note, all off key, about monotone voice. Where's that are you? And I quit.
Don't let them out.
Don't let them out. Don't let them out. See, I'm telling you, man, they want society to whoop their butts. They want it. Then they're whining that we were beat up just for protesting. Who the heck are you, man? Folks got to leave. And you talking about, don't let them out. See? Man, they're lucky they don't have a let me see. I go back to 1991 or 2 version of CAV. They lucky they didn't meet the 1991 model. The 1991 model of CAV, trying to get out that gate right there. That was one of the best models ever made of CAV. That model right there would run over anything. Yeah, big old engine in it that didn't stop. Yeah, like obstacles. Oh, y'all want to go ahead and block this is a great time to practice my running back skills. Just like Charlie Brown and them worth of hands right over all of them. All of them, man. So yeah, don't let them out.
Sir. What side?
Look. So now you're taking up all the ICE attention, so they got to stand up there and monitor you radical, crazy protesters. So this got to make blockades and try to, see, while y'all just block traffic. Here's some more footage of y'all. Look at this guy. See? This is the moment where arrests need to start taking place. Priest and all. Rabbi, you got to go. These are the moments. Soon as you start getting pushed around and you pushing back and they're trying to redirect you and move you, Isn't that assault? Anybody pulled over, get out the car, sir, and you start giving a forearm and pushing the cops, immediately that's assault. They're getting more mercy and grace than they deserve right now. You're on private property. You're blocking everything. When they try to move you out the way, you start pushing back and giving elbows and all of this stuff. I mean, you should have been thrown in the slammer multiple times. So they're way more kinder than they should be and more tolerant than they are. You know, and I guarantee you, if this was the Biden administration and these were conservatives down there, they would have arrested them off grip. As soon as they step one toe on the facility, lock them up, boys. The worst. Look at the blue hair girl. You see that? You see the blue hair girl pulling on people? Yeah, she's out there built like an egg and falls straight to the ground trying to pull on ICE members. Look at her. Get off me. Look at this. Mask on. That's what they wanted right there. Yep. They didn't go there just to protest. We're going to push them to the point where they throw us in jail. Now, here's the thing. I hope that comes with some serious consequences. Because, see, under the last administration and prior, if you got thrown in jail in these liberal cities, Debbie said, send my address again. Debbie, email me at, the link is below. Could you email me right after the show and just say, hey, Kev, it's Deb. And then I will email you my address. But yeah, what's happening right here is you look at this and you see these folks, doing this, wanting to get arrested. They know this could result in being arrested, and they're okay with that. They want to operate like this. And maybe they're thinking that we're under the last regime where they would just arrest them, let them go. They're in a liberal state or liberal city, and they go in there, just take the fingerprint. Hey, stay out of trouble, you crazy kid, and let them go. These folks need to spend some time in there. These folks need to have to go back to court and fight this, spend money, possibly do some jail time. Some consequences need to take place because this is their operating mode of protesting on the left. Whoa, what are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? The lady with the hijab on that's been acting a fool this whole time, should have been thrown in the slammer multiple times earlier than what they are. And the people, what are you doing? Get off of her. Look at her, get off of her. Hey, you're next, lady with the blue hair. Big for nothing. You see this chick with the blue hair under the head? Get off of her. She's like, I want to be arrested too. Yeah, I don't want her to just get all of the accolades in the press. I want to be arrested too. Get off of her. Get off of her. All right. Yeah, you too, bro. Get in the car. Get in there. Take them away, boys. Take them away.
What all of you watch.
Oh, here we go. Now, here comes the fake response of victimization from these darn Democrats.
Occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is unacceptable that me as a member of Congress, as a black woman, he
showed up and acted like the stereotypical black woman. Yeah, it's unacceptable that we showed up demanding that we have interest. And if we don't give us the entrance into the, we're going to start muscling and forearming and pushing and swinging and all that stuff. And we'll bring a whole entourage with. That's what we're going to do. And then start talking about it's unacceptable that me, a member of Congress, as a black woman. What does that do? Give you an excuse to break the law? You know what? Do whatever you want. You're a black woman. Oh, my bad. I can't stand when they also add that on top as if that should make a difference in the way that you're being treated based on your own behavior. Yeah, it's a black woman. Who cares about that mess?
Here, and this city was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted.
Assaulted. Now those there are fighting words. Those there are big words. So let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Of course, Congressman Rob Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us. It makes no sense, and it is highly unacceptable how this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do.
Really? No, that's not what the people elected y'all to do. That's why Trump won in a landslide, because the people elected him to do exactly the opposite of what y'all are doing, which are trying to keep these dang on people here. Somebody said, I wish I had a Thanos glove. You and me both. Boy, I'm telling you, man, Democrats have created such a horrific group of people in our society that have jumped on board with these crazy ideas and methods and stuff. Just such a divisive party. Such a radical, crazy, just chaotic ghetto, acting a fool, causing nothing but problem party. No solutions. Just show up to just start causing. They're like hyenas. Yeah, hyenas, they work based on exploiting chaos. Yeah, here you got a nice group of lions. They done took down a water buffalo. They all getting it in, man. And here they come. Oh, shoot. Here come the hyenas. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. Keep eating. Keep eating. And then they just bite you on the butt and take off running. And you turn around. Who bit me? Yeah. And then they're running around. And then you're distracted. You go after the two of them that bit you. Then another two attack another one. You go after that. Next you know the lions are all dispersed, running after hyenas. And their whole job was just to bust up the lions so they could steal the kill. That's all it is. This is what these people do. It's going down there like hyenas to create chaos. Then you got the cops that just starts to say, let's go ahead after them. Oh, now you throwing me in a slammer. You throwing me in a slammer. I'm the victim.
What we just witnessed was just disgusting.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
I am very upset. I am very angry, and I am very hurt.
Yeah, you know what? That train noise in the background is making more sense than you are. That's what it is. Yeah, you need to be on that train, smoking, first thing.
That they could be able to do something like that to us. These are people who are supposed to be officers, who are supposed to protect us, and they have done none of that. If they can treat 3 members of Congress like that, just imagine how they can treat people on the street each and every day.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing when I saw them go ahead into Trump's Mar-a-Lago house. And the way they was abusing. I was saying, if they could treat Trump like that, yeah, he was way above 3 members of Congress. If they could treat Trump like that, then they could treat us all like that. That's what I was thinking. Like Hustleman. Yep. Chief. Know what I'm saying? Chief. So let's continue listening to her whine and talk about how she was mistreated as we're about to roll the tape.
Every day, both undocumented and people who are citizens here in this country. It makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, I just want to first say that the guys from Homeland Security were very respectful.
What?
They treated me with dignity.
With dignity? Wait a minute, you're a black man. And you telling me they didn't grab you, whip you, waterboard you, threaten to send you back to the motherland? They didn't do that? They didn't do that? Gotta be kidding me, according to the lady in the red vest.
I appreciate that. While I spent my last few hours in holding area inside of I believe it's a detention facility that they have here in the city of Newark, that the Homeland Security has. So,
Wait a minute. The same detention facility they got in Newark, the one that you were talking about, how the conditions you need to go in and make sure that they were being treated fairly and there was no that breathable air and inspections and fire inspections and up to code and all of that stuff. Well, you spent some time maybe in there and didn't die from some type of pollution, inhaling, nothing. They didn't go ahead and feed you worms and stuff for dinner. They didn't. None of that stuff took place.
It wasn't unbearable, but it was definitely a humiliating experience and uncomfortable for me overall. But in the end, those guys did the best that they could to make me feel comfortable, and I appreciate that.
In a day that's really outraged a lot of people, including myself, have you thought about taking any legal action in light of what took place today and what happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Trump and Pam and all them, are y'all taking legal action based on what happened? it's funny how we both saw the same situation and she come to the conclusion she was upset and she wants to know if they're taking legal action. And I'm going, no, I should be taking legal action against them.
And to you?
Well, I mean, we're going through this process now, and obviously I will confer with my lawyers to figure out what's the best pathway forward on this. I think they completely violated my rights. I'm the mayor of the city. I have the right to go anywhere in this city, particularly in places where I think our laws are being violated. I went on up on in a driveway with our healthcare inspectors and our fire inspectors early on, and we've been doing that for the last couple of days. They've been ignoring us, and actually the Congress people who have oversight on this went onto the property and tried to get inside, and they made them wait over an hour, and they never got in.
Oh, wait over an hour. Yeah. They show up there to create chaos, random visit. I want in right now, like a kid who can't wait. Knowing that most likely ICE will not accommodate them right on the spot. So then they can walk away lying to everybody saying, ICE denied us. They don't want us to come in because they're hiding stuff. And they're in there tormenting and torturing these precious American citizens and stuff like that. That's what it is. So, yeah, you show up unannounced with a whole entourage demanding to come in. And then all of a sudden, ICE is the problem.
Never.
They mentioned that, and one of the things that the congresswoman I spoke with alluded to is that she thinks they were tipped off, that perhaps they were tipped off to you coming. I don't know. Of course, this all needs to be looked into, but the nature of your arrest with masked members of ICE just felt, and we've all seen the video, I mean, incredibly suspect. Just watching it.
It was terrible.
It was terrible. No. What I saw is a whole bunch of radical, crazy, raggedy, ghetto-acting Democrats show up to create a chaotic scene, and that was terrible. I'm embarrassed that the three, the black ones and the Latino one, that represent minorities, I guess. Yeah, you're an embarrassment to minorities. That's what it is. You bring all your crazy behind leftist protesters that just make their party look more and more like a big clown show. That's what it is. And yet they're trying to go out there and justify this. I was enraged when I saw this and the way are you guys going to press charges?
They obviously targeted me. It was I wasn't the only one out there. They came directly to me, right? And
to arrest you? That's what they did? Or did they come directly to you because they hoped you would have some type of maturity and professionalism about yourself? Because you're all the mayor. There should have been, everybody back up, calm down, let me handle this. And let's not go ahead and get irate and disrespect these law enforcement people right there. That's what you should have been doing. Now, excuse me. Hey, when can we come in and see? Can you talk to somebody about scheduling a time? Now, you didn't do it that way? You didn't do it that way, and you're talking about they obviously came up to me. Why? Well, because you're black, that's what it is?
Trying to arrest me, no one else, me. And so I honestly believe, I was targeted there.
New Jersey Democrats are defending that chaotic scene at the Newark ICE facility that ultimately resulted in the arrest of the city's mayor.
Yeah.
They created that confrontation. They created that chaos.
You're right. The Democrats did create that confrontation. They created all of that.
I
think there was a lot of opportunities for DHS, for ICE to de-escalate the situation.
As you guys escalated it. There was off that ICE could de-escalate the situation by telling you guys to back up. You can't come in, move out the way. All of those things. As you guys formed a chain and start pushing around, that right there. So as you guys are doing that, trying to get in, you're talking about ICE could have de-escalated it. By what? Just opening the door and saying, come on in, letting y'all have your way. That's what it is. So now here they all are talking about how victimized they are. But they keep forgetting, though, like all dumb Democrats, there's video footage out there.
He chose not to.
People just are afraid of this un-American hyperactivity, this weaponization of law enforcement.
Weaponization of law enforcement. That is rich coming from a Democrat. See, so all of these illegal immigrants that are being sent out, that's weaponizing law enforcement, or is it enforcing the law? I think it's enforcing the law. But see, it's the reverse with the Democrats. If you're enforcing the law, then that's weaponizing the law. There it is. You're weaponizing the law against all of these criminals. That's what you're doing, okay? That we brought in here, we support.
Consistent lying at all levels to try to cover up for the wrong and the unlawful activities that ICE did on that day.
Do anybody believe these idiots? And then you send Hawker Jeffries out here. Listen to this warning, y'all. It sent chills up my spine.
There was this incident in New York. You said they better not touch our members.
Better correct.
What happens if they were to go and arrest these members, or if they would try to sanction them during the House vote?
Hit us with some Joe Biden. Don't.
They'll find out.
What would
They'll
you do?
find out.
They'll find out. Recourse. I mean, it does not rotate.
What you gonna do, Hawker?
Doesn't that?
They'll find out. What you gonna do, Hawker? That's what I want, man. Yeah. See? Yeah. I want Hawker to put a straw on his shoulder and say, knock it off. And I say, what you gonna do if I do? You'll find out. You know how quick I knocked that off? Beep. I want to know. It's my mission. Now it's my mission to find out. Beep. What you gonna do, Hawker? Nothing. They'll find out. They'll find out. Yeah, right. Empty plates.
That's a red line.
What's the red line, though? I mean, I know we have this.
It's a red line. It's very clear.
He's given permission to his cabinet and those who work for him to lie. And she's lying too. And so I was there. I saw it.
Oh, and so was the cameras. See, they've given permission to lie. The lying party, filled with lies. Everything they do, every action they take, even when they're not lying, their very behavior is lying because it's not what it is. See, they're pretending that they just went there to go ahead and, check on the facility and make sure it's up to code and make sure they're being treated right. That is all a lie. That's not why they went there. They went there to create chaos and, disrupt things and create false and negative narratives about ICE and what they're doing to these people, and eventually create a lot of, negative sentiment towards what Trump is doing. An effort to either slow down the process of deporting these people or completely stop it. That's what they're really up to. But see, they'll get out there and they lie to all of their people talking about, we just going down there to make sure due processes and all this stuff.
I was a part of it. I was in the middle of it. We did not in any way, shape, or form disrespect the physicality of any of those ICE agents. And to say so is just to perpetuate the kind of lying that we are experiencing in this country at the highest level.
Y'all hear that? All the lying we experience in this country in the highest level. We ain't do nothing. We was just right in the middle of it. I was standing there. All of a sudden, I got caught up in the whirlwind. It was like I was in a blender. It was like I was in a blender because of ice, an ice blender. I was in an ice blender. Well, we're about to see because they're all doing their rounds on TV talking about we ain't do nothing.
The Department of Homeland Security has since released the body cam video. I have combed through all of the video that they made available. We're going to show you portions of it now. And you can clearly see that, yes, there was very much a scuffle, a lot of pushing and shoving. I should note that you see the blurred faces there. That was done by the Department of Homeland Security. They gave us the video with the faces blurred. But at no point throughout this video do you see any body slamming of officers going on. And when we spoke to Congresswoman...
that's the woman in red. Oh, shoot.
Coleman about that this morning for her to describe exactly what happened there. She was one of the 3 members of Congress who was trying to get access to the facility yesterday. This is what she said actually happened during the scuffle.
Let's hear what she said.
But DHS says they are still exploring additional charges for those involved. Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss joins us now.
Y'all hear Clockendosh? This guy right here, Congressman Clockendosh. This is what he feels about it.
Congressman, good morning to you. So here's a quote from DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. She says that lawmakers could still be arrested because the department has body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers, including body camera footage of a female ICE officer involving body slamming a female ICE officer, rather. Congresswoman McIver has disputed that characterization of her actions. But when you look at this footage...
Well. Look at that. First of all, why is she leading belly first? That's my question. Is her forearm and her belly is at the same distance? How you gonna have your forearm out like this and your stomach is right at the same distance? I don't know if she assaulted this officer with her belly or with the forearm. We don't know. She could have did it with her stomach. That's what she could have did. But now the lady who said, I ain't do nothing, and it's an insult, I'm a black woman. Look at that. The cop has his back turned. His back, guys, while she got a forearm right in his back. Now, normally that would get you thrown in the slammer. Yeah, go out today and try doing that to a cop. All right, everyone, I need you to disperse, move out the... What the... Who just forearmed me? Come here. Get on the ground. So Belly First is out here throwing forearms, y'all.
How do you feel about this situation and how it all played out?
Clearly,
going through the fence that ICE said don't come through.
the ICE agents let this get out of control.
Oh, ICE agents let it get out of control.
DHS to release all the footage so that facts can be submitted to a candid world and Americans can understand what happened. I think that footage is going to reveal something very different than what they're claiming.
No, we already got enough footage to know what happened. Y'all went out there trying to disrupt stuff and gonna muscle your way through the gate, regardless of what ICE was telling y'all, and then start throwing forearms, and it gets worse.
It's important to start with the premise that members of Congress have a legal right to do unannounced visits at ICE detention facilities. That's part of their supervisory role. They've done it before. They should do it again, Republicans and Democrats. And that's what these three members of Congress were doing.
That's all they was doing. Now, do you normally come down there with an entourage to do oversight? That's my question. Do you normally come down there with a whole bunch of radical protesters and, of course, camera people to do oversight? And then when they tell you to hold up, you decide, nah, you're going to let me in this month right now and start pushing and shoving.
They were there for an hour and a half before they allegedly stormed it, so I doubt they were storming it from the inside. And then after the alleged storming, they got a tour of the facility. So it's hard to square those facts with the idea that somehow...
Yeah, after the whining, the pushing, the storming, and all of that stuff and getting arrested, then you get a tour. What became of the tour? Did they come out and say, yes, exactly like we thought it was? They're in there mistreating these people. No? So all of that was for nothing?
They were unwanted trespassers.
Let's take a step back, though, for a moment. Let's assume everything you said is 100% accurate. Is this a good look for your party in light of the fact that the American people voted overwhelmingly on November 5th to get rid of what are the individuals held at this facility? Child rapists, MS-13 gang members, murderers, terrorists. That's all according to DHS. Is that a good look, though, for your party? Not going and performing their oversight duty. That's what Congress people should do.
So as you're talking about Congress, it's that randomly should just go ahead and do oversight over this particular facility for some reason. For some reason, they just got to do oversight over this one, and they've just picked the decision to go in this random, based on all of the controversy that they're creating around deportation and ICE and demonizing ICE. You know, all of a sudden now they just want to do, oversight on that particular place. Is that a good look? Even if what you're saying is true, y'all going down there trying to make sure your precious illegal immigrants are treated fairly and all stuff. Is it a good look, Mr. Democrat man?
But the back and forth, the constant fighting, the getting arrested like Ras Baraka did, the mayor of Newark, does that square with what the American people want?
So first, the American people and Democrats, and me included, want to see criminals deported. You are here without lawful documentation and you are committing crimes, you're out of here. That's why I voted for bipartisan border security legislation endorsed by the Border Patrol agents, because we absolutely need a secure border. We're a nation of laws. We're also a nation of immigrants and need to be treating people fairly and with due process. I think what you're pointing out is that this fracas distracts from the core issues, which is exactly what the Trump administration wants, which is why I think the ICE agents instigated this event. It didn't.
No. You see him trying to flip it? ICE agents instigated this event. Trump wanted this chaotic scene right here, not the Democrats. And this is what they don't realize. When they create these chaotic scenes that they think are going to work in their favor to, galvanize their radical base, to make them get all excited and upset and look at this, they're mistreating these congressmen, they don't realize it has the opposite effect. They step on the rake every time. They think the majority and the masses are watching this stuff going, man, that's messed up what they're doing down there to these politicians. They're mistreating them. And in reality, the masses is going, look at these dumb behind Democrats. It seems like every time I turn on the TV, they're out there fighting and arguing for illegal immigrants. They're out there showing up at this thing all around surrounding these illegal immigrants. Somehow they're always in the mix. They're defending these illegal immigrants. And so it got to the point where this escalated because they wanted it to. This guy's trying to pretend that ICE made it escalate so they could get the soundbite and the video clips and all of that. So no. Yeah, these folks went down there and wanted this mess to be escalated, thinking we're going to get some great footage of us fighting against this injustice. Great footage of us getting arrested because we just wouldn't stop pushing and shoving. Then we'll go on TV and do our rounds talking about how ICE abused us. But in reality, all of us Americans are looking at this going, look at these dumb, ghetto-fied, bootleg, raggedy, corrupt, stinking Democrats and their radicalized base doing this. Look at them down there pushing and shoving to go in there to protect the precious illegal immigrants. Not a good look. Not a good look. But this guy's trying to pretend it was ICE that escalated it.
Not need to come to the escapade that you're seeing here. These members of Congress were there peaceably. They were there legally. They were requesting what is their congressional responsibility, which is oversight. And instead, they got pushed around.
And this facility has been created to give illegal immigrants due process before they're deported, which is something that Democrats have been calling for.
And I would just push back quickly. I understand what you're saying. DHS has said that they were not the ones that instigated these Congress people. So, of course,
they should release all the footage.
Yeah. Release all the footage.
See when it all comes out.
Very good point. Let's let the footage do the talking.
Yeah, let's do that.
We will all make our judgments as we view it.
Yes, let's let the footage do the talking.
Let's check the tape.
Well, look at that. Oh, well, look at that. There's the gate that they weren't supposed to go in. There's the lady in red. There's the Mendez or whatever his name is. Look at them all. Still pushing towards that gate as ICE is trying to stop them. Oh, here's another angle. Oh, you see that form? You see belly first? Yeah, she's throwing multiple bowls. She's throwing multiple bowls, y'all. Look at that. As the ICE agent is simply trying to stop her by being in her way with his back turned. And while his back is, oh, you see that? You gonna get out my way. Hit you with a couple bellies and bowls. She's hitting me with bellies and bowls, y'all. Yeah, you gonna get out of her. Let me in there. That's right. You gonna let me. No, she threw a jab. You see that overhand jab? Boy, I tell you. Yeah. Roll the tape. Look at that. Yeah, you elbows. You gonna get. Woo, belly first is swinging, y'all. Belly first needs to do some time. That's what she need to do.
Can you just set the stage for us? What transpired Friday afternoon outside of that detention facility?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, you know, they always trying to catch me. But at the end of the day, we did not interfere with any federal processes at all. I did not trespass. When the Homeland Security investigator, the special agent in charge, by the way, who was the one that approached me, asked me to leave the property. In the end, we left the property. They came outside of the property and arrested me on the street on the city side. That's just the fact of the matter. We didn't bust our way in. We didn't push our way in. Nothing of that actually happened at all.
Didn't push our way in?
Of the matter. We didn't bust our way.
Let me dismiss that. There we go. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Way in, didn't push our way in.
Didn't push our way in?
Actually happened at all.
Let's take a closer look, shall we?
Yes, let's do that.
He was on a tour of Delaney Hall with.
What? Now you see that lying mayor right there in the mix. Right there in the mix. Swinging around. Now, a better way to handle that would be, hey, everybody back up while I go ahead and talk to ICE and see if I can schedule a time where we could come in. But no. Democrats are impatient. They couldn't wait. Plus, that wouldn't give them the soundbite. Acting with decency and order. That's not their style. That's not radical enough. It won't gin up all of the excitement in the radical, crazy protesters and voters. See, doing things the right way in a civilized way, no, that's a conservative style. There it is. That's a Republican method of doing things, not us. We got to go over the top, loud, crazy, and acting a fool as he gets pushed around because he's muscling and elbowing folks. Look at that.
3 other members of New Jersey's congressional delegation. Federal officials blocked his entry. We're told that an argument erupted, and Baraka attempted to enter through some sort of side gate.
Yep.
Those on
There's a side
scene say
gate.
federal agents threw organizers to the ground. You can see him there.
Look at all of that. So let me get this straight. As these so-called politicians are pushing their way towards the gate that they weren't supposed to go towards. That right there isn't instigating anything. That's not disobeying a direct order from the ICE agents telling them you can't enter this. But they're going forward. See? So all these ICE agents, what they're trying to suggest, just attack them. They were sitting there minding their business, waiting for their turn, waiting for somebody to come out and give them a schedule or a time that they could come in. And all of those ICE agents start pushing each other. They start pushing each other. It's like, you know what would be a great idea? Let's surround these folks and just start pushing them and shoving them and stuff like that. Yeah, shoving them in the gate. Make it look like they're the ones just trying to get in the gate. That's what we're going to do. So start pushing them and then, we just keep shoving them towards the gate that we told them not to go in. These people think we're stupid. That's what it is.
He circled trying to get through that gate and confronting a federal official there.
There it is again. Look at them elbows. Oh, shoot. You hear ICE back up. Oh, lady in red. Does it look like she's backing up? There she is right there. Look like she's backing up. Well. Get the F off of me. How you like that for a wordsmith? Get the F off of me.
We didn't bust our way in, didn't push our way in. None of that actually happened at all.
This is how it should have been done. Now, this is the difference between a party that's serious, a party that got some sense, a party that has some. I could never, ever be a Democrat. Ever. Look at the difference. Marjorie Taylor Greene and them shows up to check on the folks that were being held in jail forever in Washington, D.C. Where's the entourage? Where are all the folks singing, "The which side are you on?" Now look at how she asked this person.
Really? What are you hiding?
I've never had.
I'd like to see the whole facility. I'm concerned about every single person staying here. You can give us that permission. We actually have members of Congress, and you have oversight over the district. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Anything else I can help you with? Why isn't this lady with that mask on scared? Why isn't she turned around with her back to them saying, "No, stop it, back up"? Why isn't she doing that? She's able to sit there, use her words, because these two people are using their words. They're calm. They're asking questions. They're talking about, hey, yeah, we do have oversight, but we need to schedule. Can we come in and see it? Nobody pushing and shoving?
Yes, you
haven't helped us yet. You haven't helped us yet.
I tried to help you. I will give you the phone number to the director's office.
Sure.
Look at that. I'll try to help you. I'll give you the phone number to the director's office. Did they say, that's not enough? We're coming in. Where's the elbows? Right, where's the knees and stuff and that, the overhand, the punching and stuff?
One thing that I really find strikingly odd in this case is the mayor was elected in 2014. In 2014, Delaney Hall was open.
As we close, y'all, we're going to expose y'all.
For immigration detainees there at that time.
2014.
At no time under President Obama did he want to go ahead and have a protest.
You don't hear that. So this facility was open 2014 under Obama. And they were housing precious illegal immigrants. Where was the mob then? Where were the inspections, the fire codes? And we want to make sure that the smog and stuff isn't killing the illegal immigrants. Now you see the hypocrisy and the stupid stuff that these dang on Democrats participate in. The lies, pretending that now all of a sudden they're concerned about these things.
But yet now he makes a political stunt like this. And he also made the comments he wasn't there to protest. But he'd been there all week. So there's that.
Oh, so that's from the mayor. Here's from AOC.
AOC?
On camera too.
Look at this.
If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem.
How did Bubblehead get this far in her career? I'm telling you, I don't understand. She was more like a doodle queen on a movie screen. Pay no mind, but what do you mean? She's a congresswoman. She's LC. She's Bubblehead #1. If anybody was breaking any laws,
a finger on them, we are going to have a problem.
Oh, shoot. That sounded like a threat. What you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do? I want to know that. Hawker Jeffries, now AOC. You lay a finger on that, we're going to have a problem. Yeah, ain't going to do nothing. Can't bust a grape.
Address that comment. That's the way we rolled it. Also want to know how many people are in this specific facility? What are they accused of? Who's there?
So currently at the Delaney Hall facility is
tell us who all these Democrats went down there to check on and defend. Tell us who they are.
152 detainees. 75% of them are convicted of a crime or pending criminal charges. People that are in there, the crimes that they're accused of are rape, child molestation, fentanyl trafficking, murder, wire fraud. These aren't the people you want in your neighborhoods.
It's the people that the Democrats want in your neighborhood, though. See, that's the thing. These aren't the people that the Dems want in their neighborhood. They just want them in your neighborhood. These are the folks that they're going out and make sure that they got the due process and the air conditions and make sure, you know what, matter of fact, let them go. That's what they would prefer. Let them go. That's who the Dems are down there rocking. They're getting pushed around and arrested for, guys. Not for your safety, not for Americans. No, for those type of folks.
These are the people that are the worst of the worst that ICE are out there arresting, putting their lives in line every day. And to address that comment, under the leadership of Secretary Noem and President Trump, we are out there doing what the American people want, and that is getting these public safety threats off the street so they're not out there to reoffend again.
This morning you were with Rachel Campos Duffy, and you were giving a little bit of a tour. What do you hope to try to show people in terms of the transparency?
Wait a minute. So he's giving a tour? Wait a minute. Where are all the chains and the whips and the torture chambers and stuff? They're not in there? They're not in there? Wait a minute. Where's the hot boiling the bath water where they scald them? They just drop them in the hot water. No. Where's the table of torture where they rack them and stuff like that and bring out the nice shiny silverware to let you know it's going to be a long day? In a nice unfolded napkin or something. There we go. All of these are going to be used on you, Mr. Illegal Immigrant, while you're staying here. To teach you not to come in our country illegally again. None of that. So look at this facility of torture
that these members of Congress say they want. So you are providing it.
Right. And, I was really happy to have the opportunity to kind of pull back that curtain and let people see exactly what's going on.
Well,
ICE detention standards are some of the highest in the business.
Some of the highest?
And when you come and you see...
Well, look at that, guys. They're not sleeping on the floor like they did when Biden was packing them all in. They're not sleeping in a police station floor. No. They're not sleeping under bridges while they're waiting to be processed into our country. None of that stuff. Interesting.
What the facility actually looks like, I think the American people would be shocked. We've heard all sorts of things from inhumane treatment, no food, phones not working, and that's just not the case.
Oh, not the case. There you have it, guys. Thank you for clearing that up for us. Because if we had to listen to those raggedy ghetto Democrats that were breaking into the facility, these people are in there being mistreated. If we had to listen to all the dumb protesters, they can't breathe because of the smog and there's noise pollution and all of these things in there. It's an off record facility right there. It's a black op facility. All of the stupid stuff that they're trying to throw out there. And Americans are inside of there just being snatched up. So you see the stupidity of the Democrats. I mean, it never ends, unfortunately. And I just hope that this party just continues to become so unpopular that it spirals completely into oblivion. I don't want to see or hear from a Democrat ever again, as they continue to fight against the system, fight themselves. Y'all hear David Hogg? They got rid of that skinny little soft soy boy. I wonder what he gonna do now that his party forsook him. You think he's gonna try to be a conservative? Nah. Yeah. They're teaching those folks that there's no such thing as democracy, even though you're a Democrat and they voted you in. And you kicked against the pricks, you got to go. Hilarious. I'll probably be talking about his butt too at some point. All right, I should be back tomorrow. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And Deb, I'm going to check my emails soon as I get off here to send you what you requested. And don't forget to like on the way out and follow me on all the other social media platforms so we can stay connected in more than one way. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that through my Cash App, my PayPal link, and all that other good stuff. Or You can also check out Kevin's Corner. Now, let's get out of here because I got to go to work, y'all. I'm just getting started while other people going to sleep. Yeah. Yeah. God bless. Take care.